Hello, I'm Charles Ewald. I've been a venture capitalist for about 25 years and currently teach investing for good at the Stanford Graduate School of Business. I'm delighted to conduct this discussion with my dear friend, mentor, and hero, Bill Draper. William H. Draper III, founding general partner of Sutter Hill Ventures in the 1960s, is most widely known as one of the founders of the venture capital industry and one of the greatest investors that business has ever seen. But as with Arthur C. Clarke, his career encompasses far more than that. After heading Sutter Hill for 2 decades, Bill left California for jobs in the Reagan and Bush administrations and then at the United Nations. First as chairman of the Export-Import Bank of the US, and then as Undersecretary General of the UN, the number 2 position there, head of the United Nations Development Program. Bill then returned to San Francisco, where he founded, with his partner Robin Richards, Draper International, the first US-style venture capital firm to invest in India, and in fact, the first such firm to invest in any emerging market. Draper Richards, one of the pioneering and most successful angel investment firms. And finally, if that were not enough, during the worst of the nuclear winter following the dot-com bust, Bill dreamed up what has become known as venture philanthropy, founding the Draper Richards Kaplan Foundation, which supports fledgling nonprofit ventures and their founders with capital, operational guidance, and mentorship. Throughout all these leadership roles in the US and throughout the world, Bill has tirelessly promoted free enterprise, individual liberty, education, human rights, especially the role of women, and the environment. Arthur C. Clarke epitomized imagination, innovation, creativity, and optimism. I can think of no more fitting recipient than Bill Draper of the Arthur C. Clarke Lifetime Achievement Award. Bill, let me be the first to congratulate you.
Thank you very much, Charles. I'm delighted to receive the award because he led a marvelous life, a very varied one, and I am delighted to get this Lifetime Achievement Award.
It's really about imagination, innovation, human spirit, and so forth. And you know, you've had a front row seat for a long time, 60 years plus, looking at the emergence of this industry, but also all of the technologies that have come out of it. And you know, you think of the kind of astonishing fact that you started doing venture capital investments 25 years before the founding of Apple Computer. So you've seen this just incredible wave of innovation, and you know, been part of funding a lot of it. Do you have a best deal or a favorite?
Skype, I suppose. We were the first investors in Skype, and I found that by sending the great guy but I said, well, why don't you go to Europe? A lot of competition here in the Valley. I sent him over, and he found Skype as one of the first things he found. And I said, well, good, let's do it. And so I put the money inside of the sight unseen, but it was probably turned out to be my best investment.
And I guess just to say for the record, you know, in the late 1950s, you know, when venture capital was in its infancy and Arthur C. Clarke was imagining the future, the idea that we would be speaking over the phone, over a video phone, in color from many remote locations would have been science fiction. It was science fiction. And the idea that it would be free would be absolutely inconceivable. And yet
right.
here we are, you know, here we are on a video conference, and really the predecessor technology for that is voice over internet protocol, which Skype and Bill Draper created. So thank you, sir.
This guy, Sir Arthur Clarke, I'm delighted to receive this award because he is an outstanding man who saw that science applied to economics made a lot of sense. And I am so pleased to get this award.
So actually, I'd like to explode two myths. So there are two myths I can think of about the venture capital industry that are really so violently contradicted by this experience. One is that venture capitalists are not entrepreneurial. And I think one of the themes, Bill, in your career is your ability to continue to innovate and see opportunities, that other people aren't seeing. And the other is there's a view that venture capital is a young person's game. And you mentioned Skype, and I would just, I know you would never say this on your own account, but Skype is one of the greatest single venture capital investments of all time. And I'm not going to embarrass you by asking exactly how old you were when you made the seed investment in Skype, unless you want to share that with us.
Uh, so, question is, how old was I when we did Skype?
Yeah.
I would guess. I would guess 50.
No. Come on, Bill.
What was I?
75.
I felt
Yeah.
I felt like 50, and
Yeah.
I feel like I've only 5 years older now.
Yeah, no, I think
So was I
you're the
75?
youngest person I know,
Well,
Bill. But
75 is just the beginning of lots of action. And
yeah.
boy, whoa, to be 75 again, though. Yeah, well, you know, you're only as old as you feel, and as long as you have energy and health, the more important it is to make sure that you do some good every day, or do some effort every day that is positive. I've still got a lot of energy. I've still got a lot of inquisitiveness and about different things. And so I'm very interested in keeping going, because I think that helps your health too. And it's certainly important to mentally to keep you interested and interesting, which you got to do both. So that's my picture on it.
Yeah, you're an inspiration. Thank you. So it was end of 2001 when you conceived of the Draper Richards Kaplan Foundation, and basically creating, or certainly one of the first efforts in the field of venture philanthropy, if not the first. So I wanted to ask about the inspiration for that, and in part, how did that happen in what otherwise was an incredibly dark time in venture capital?
I think the way I remember all of it happening is that Robin Richards, this delightful venture capitalist, partner of mine, Robin and I thought, we've made a lot of money on this program in international venture capital. Let's think about what we might do to give it back. So the whole thing was a philanthropic organization that we started with, I don't know, maybe $12 million. We would interview and do pretty much the same thing to entrepreneurial kinds of people who wanted to do something philanthropic. I think we've backed 130 of these ventures. We give them each 3 years of love and coaching and board membership, and then we're out, we're off, and they're on their own. And 3 years, if they've been stuck it out for 3 years, they're pretty darn good. And we've done a lot of good with that organization, I think, and we get as more thrill out of that than making a little bit more money.
I think my count is you're actually approaching 200 early stage, not-for-profits
I
worldwide.
guess, I guess that's right.
And the way, the way that DRK measures impact is simply to count lives. So you've touched or improved 150 million lives to date.
Well, for whatever we've done, whatever good we've done, and we have seen a lot of good that has come out of, and it's just not Robin and me. It's just a whole team of wonderful people who are trying to help in one way or another. So, but it's been a great run. I mean, uh, I don't think I would change much of anything.
I can't imagine that there's another person on the planet who's seen more entrepreneurs over a longer period of time, all of them with a vision about changing the world. So I have some questions about, what conclusions you draw about human imagination first.
It's hard to imagine. But if I had to pick what we look for in imagination, or because that is a part of the entrepreneur that's going to succeed. First of all, they have to imagine something big, and if he's not very imaginative, then he should hire somebody who is. But I got to say, looking back at the biggest successes, the imagination was a major part of the makeup of the entrepreneur.
What is it that leads you to do over 500 early stage investments in your career and to retain the hunger?
Why do I retain the hunger? To do
Yeah.
more?
Yeah.
Just because, what else am I going to do? Who else is going to listen to me like you guys? I got to keep going, otherwise you're dead. So I'm definitely still working. I'm come to the office every day, and I love it. And I don't do much, but I pretend I do, and it works pretty well.
Have you always been happy, or have you made yourself happy?
Yeah, I guess I've always been happy. Um, I don't think I would have stood still for long uh, if I weren't happy. I'd try to do something else to find happiness. And everybody, I think, should enjoy their life and feel like they are happy campers in every. Look at this guy. He was happy. Look at him. Look at that smile. He, he was a happy guy, and I can tell that just looking at that picture. Uh, I love that award that you gave me, by the way. I think anybody who doesn't feel that their life is full of happiness should get on a different track.
I'm curious whether you're optimistic about the future, and if so, why?
Well, as you know, Charles, I am an optimist. I think optimists have a lot more fun than pessimists. And I think if you're an optimist, it's catching. Optimism is catching. And I think we have this terrible disease that's also very catching right now. And I am an optimist that we will quickly find, because we've got hundreds of doctors now working together to find a cure. And optimism is definitely the way to go if you had a choice. I think there's some people that just basically pessimistic about everything, but I don't have many of those friends. Most of them are optimists.
Yeah.
You're an optimist, I know.
I'm learning from you every day. So, Bill, I want to do a lightning round. So I'm just going to give you Two words, and you pick one of them with first thing that comes into your head. No need to expatiate. Inspiration or perspiration?
Inspiration.
Youth or experience?
Youth.
Team or technology?
Team.
Future or the past?
Future.
Yes or no?
Yes. I have you know this poster that I have in my room. When you can say yes or no, why say yeah? Why say no? Or why?
I'm with you. Bill Draper, take my money.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what it
So
says.
Bill, do you think of yourself as a risk taker?
You know, truthfully, I really don't. I think the risks that I take have a measure to them. I would guess I'm balanced in a way because I am not afraid of risk as long as I've thought it through and realized that the reward uh, out out distance the risk.
Then why are all three of your houses on the San Andreas Fault?
I'm an optimist. I told you. Yeah, that is a very good question. That is very funny. There was we did have, quite an earthquake, and I thought about that same question. I said, "What's wrong with you, Draper?" But anyway, it sounds, it sounds like I'm looking for risk, but I just happened to find that out after I bought the house. I gotta say, I love that picture. He's laughing. He's just having a good time. And that makes me feel good. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for giving me that award.
Yeah, and I really wanted to thank the whole team, for standing by Bill and me while we had this conversation. Thrilled to have had the opportunity to do this interview, and it's an honor. And Bill, it's always just so much fun to be in your presence. Whether it's electronic, physically, or telepathically. So, thank
Charles,
you.
you're a really close friend, and I've enjoyed it. I never I never will forget your kindness in so many ways over the years. So we've got a good relationship, and I suppose everybody else is getting a little bored and about time to say goodnight.